In part 1, Amara and her mother, Mama Grace, were thrown out of their home by Mr. John, under the evil influence of his second wife, Auntie Nosy. The young girl, once full of dreams, now faces the harsh world with only her mother by her side and a promise to make her proud. The night after their eviction was long. Amara and Mama Grace slept on the cold floor of an uncompleted building. The wind whistled through the open walls, and the sound of crickets filled the air. Mama Grace could not sleep. She kept whispering prayers, her hands on Amara's head. God, please protect this child. Don't let her destiny die here. Amara, though tired, stayed awake too. Her mind was full of questions. Why did Papa change? Why did he hate me so much? When morning came, she cleaned her mother's face with a small towel and said softly, Mama, don't cry again. One day, everything will change. Mama Grace smiled weakly. My daughter, tears never last forever. But faith must not die before the miracle. That morning, they began a new life, with nothing but faith, courage, and hunger. Days turned into weeks. Mama Grace started roasting corn by the roadside near the market. She would leave home before sunrise, carrying a small basket and her local stove. Amara helped her after school. She would sit beside the fire, fanning it, while reading her old school notes. Her uniform was fading, her sandals worn out, but her eyes still carried fire. Sometimes people pitied them and bought corn they didn't need. Other times, they went home with nothing. One evening, an old woman stopped by. She looked at Amara and said, My child, your face is bright. Don't let poverty close your eyes, Amara smiled. Mama, I want to go to school again. The young woman nodded. Then keep reading. Destiny delays, but it doesn't die. Those words became Amara's daily. One hot afternoon, while Amara was roasting corn alone, Mama Grace had gone to buy charcoal. A black car stopped in front of her store. A woman stepped out, young, beautiful, and well-dressed. She bought 2 corns and watched Amara closely. What class are you in? She asked. SS3, Ma. But I have not been going to school for some months. Why? No money, Ma. My father drove us away. The woman's face softened. What's your name? Amara. You remind me of myself when I was young, she said, handing Amara a 1,000 naira note. Keep studying. Don't stop. Amara wanted to ask her name, but the woman only smiled and said, We will meet again. She entered her car and drove off, leaving Amara speechless and hopeful. A few days later, Amara's school principal sent a letter through one of her classmates. It read, Amara, if you do not pay your WAEC registration by next week, your name will be removed. Amara's hands shook as she read it. The fee was 28,000 Nigerian nairas, more than what Mama Grace could make in 2 months. That night, Amara cried silently. Her mother held her close and said, We will find a way. Even if I have to borrow, I will not let your dream die. The next morning, Mama Grace went to meet a woman in the market to ask for help. But instead of pity, she got insults. Grace, your husband has money. Go and beg him. Those words cut deep. Mama Grace walked home slowly, her eyes red. Meanwhile, back in their old home, Auntie Nosy began to have strange dreams. She would wake up at night screaming, Fire! Fire! Someone is chasing me. Mr. John tried to calm her, but fear filled the house. Maybe it's that Amara, she said one morning. She has cursed us. Mr. John's anger returned. If she tries anything, I'll make sure she never steps foot here again. He didn't know that his own wickedness had started to turn against him. His farm was failing. His business was collapsing. And people had started whispering in the village that he was under a spell. But he still refused to see the truth. One afternoon, as Amara sat roasting corn, a familiar voice called her name. She looked up, it was the same woman who had stopped by earlier. This time, she came with a young man, Amara. She said with a smile, "This is my brother. He's a teacher. Tell him what you told me." Amara explained her story again, her voice trembling. The man looked touched. "You're a strong girl. You deserve a chance. I will talk to your school principal. You must write that exam." For the first time in months, Amara felt hope blooming again. When Mama Grace came back, the woman handed her a brown envelope and said, "Use this to pay your daughter's WAEC fee. She's meant for greatness." Mama Grace knelt down crying. "God bless you, my daughter. You have saved our lives." The next day, Amara returned to school. Her classmates were surprised and happy to see her. Her teachers welcomed her warmly. Even though her uniform was old and her shoes broken, she walked like a queen. She studied harder than ever, spending nights reading by lantern light. One evening, as she read, her mother said softly, "Amara, I had a dream. I saw you wearing a graduation gown." Amara smiled, tears in her eyes. "Mama, that dream will come true." Outside, thunder rumbled as if heaven itself was watching her story unfold. But deep in the village, something strange was happening. Auntie Ngozi had fallen mysteriously ill, and the only name she kept shouting in her sleep was Amara. Watch out for the Part 3 guys.